feels like a perfect time to talk about Forbearance. Great weapon, 110%, you should be looking for it. And there's actually a number of roles to look out for that work very well. But I do want to talk about each use case. There's some roles that do stand out. And when it was first announced to be a part of these Brave weapons, there was some head scratching. Some were hyped, like me. I was super hyped. Some not so much. Some say, well, the raid version is better. And I don't necessarily think that like at all. And there's some things to talk about as far as the ARC kit that Forbearance is a perfect weapon for. Things that are seldomly used. So yeah, there's some things to get into with this. So why is it a perfect time to talk about Forbearance? It's because I've had a long week. I've had a lot of stuff I had to get done outside of content creation. We all have things come up. And just like when this weapon came out in a raid, Season 16, I never got a good roll on it. And hey, I play a lot of Destiny. A lot. I get all my own weapons. I don't take accounts. And as time went on, I didn't have time to do the raid. Or better yet, when I did, I didn't have a raid group when I had that time. Like I couldn't get people together to do an older raid. They didn't want to. So I know a lot of people sound like that too, sound like me. So again, for me and many, many others, Forbearance is a welcomed addition to this Brave set. I can get a good one, you can get a good one. There's a ton of them that are dropping opposed to a raid encounter. And sure, the raid one can be crafted, but how many are dropping? It's fine. So let's take a look at them side by side. The raid version and the Brave version. You have the raid on the left, Brave on the right. And it starts with the origin trait, Soul Drinker. This is on the raid one. You gain health based on the number of hits before reloading. This thing can get multiple hits. No downs needed. Pretty good origin trait. And with what's changed in the third, it had Genesis. It's a relic of a perk. And it is kind of nice on something like this. You break a shield, ammo's refunded from reserves, but it can be worked around and some great competition here. And sleight of hand, and it's okay that this one's lost. There's other great perks here. In the fourth column, it lost Turnabout and gained Desperate Measures. And I look at that as an upgrade. Okay that it was lost. Updated. So it kept its good perks and good combinations, and then we start getting to the Brave Forbearance. Indomitability. Great origin trait. On a light subclass, you get grenade energy on final blows. Dark subclass, you get melee. Community note is 5% grenade on these kills. So here's the deal. How I view this, you can do this exercise too. If someone were to place these two in front of me, just like this, and said, hey, these are both an arc wave grenade launcher. The one on the left, it can be crafted, but you're not gonna get too many rolls. The one on the right, it's randomly rolled. It can have enhanced perks later on, and you're gonna get a ton of them. And I have to make a choice. First, I would think, well, these are pretty similar. And when you cross-examine them, it becomes pretty clear to me. It's the one on the right, it's Brave. And the biggest reason for that, from me, is this right here, Demolitionist in the third. Just this pairing, Indomitability and Demolitionist on a base roll, 15% more grenade energy on a kill. I mean, look at it. 8 downs with this wave. This is Demo Rampage. And as the reload's coming in, a full grenade back. I mean, just one more time. Just base demo on this thing. And we have a whole lot more to add. That's a good thing. Is this not the best demo nade launcher in the game, or like the history of the game? Just because of this. Because even Enhanced Demolitionist doesn't get the grenade back right there. But when you start adding to it, unfortunately, I've had a lot going on. I'm grinding a little bit. I don't have the true ones that I've been going for, but all of them involve Demolitionist. Because at base, we're at 15%, and then you put like a Void Warlock in there. A Feed the Void Warlock, 15%. So a kill is 30% of your grenade, and it's a wave. That's what I like most. It's not like the salvo, anything on top of that, but you can just keep going. Devour, Feed the Void, Demo, Indomitability, Controverse Hold. It's like a near instant grenade. If you step away from Void Lock, with what's on the table, in the fourth column we have Wellspring. That spreads out 8% ability energy between your uncharged abilities, but if your grenade is the only one not charged, it gets the full 8%. So in a scenario, Demo, Wellspring, Indomitability, 23% of that grenade is coming back, and we haven't even talked about enhancing them. So base weapon, enhanced with the combination, enhanced demo goes to 11%, Wellspring goes to 9%. 20% right there, and then 25 total with Indomitability. That is crazy good, because when you really think about it, a base Demolitionist grenade launcher needs 10 kills to get that grenade right back. Even with enhanced demo, it'd be 99. But the Brave weapon, this Forbearance, just with Demolitionist, it takes 7 kills. And again, it's not just a regular grenade launcher like the Salvo, where it does a direct impact, it goes across, it waves out, it cleans up, it takes out multiple enemies. And when you put it all together, it can take 4 kills without Devour, without Warlock. So yes, I take the Brave one. That is a very special thing. And there's a lot more to talk about, but I'm gonna come back to this. In all, there's a lot of safe rolls, and a lot of them do involve Chain Reaction or Demo, but let's remember Chain Reaction is getting nerfed. Final Shape comes 15% smaller detonation radius and a 20% damage reduction, and we're gonna see how that works. But on paper, that's a big nerf. But I do think it's still worth chasing at this point and using it. And when Final Shape comes, if it's terrible, you have some backups. So be looking out for Demolitionist Chain Reaction. That's the big one. If Chain Reaction, even while being nerfed, can get downs, those are demo downs. And the thing's giving 15% for each down. It's still going to be good. And right now, I don't have that role, but it would feast. Or there's something like Ambitious Chain. I do have this. It was on the original raid version, but only this time, again, you have the extra grenade energy. And with Ambitious Assassin, you get 2 rounds, possibly 3. You have to down like 11 or 12 total, then reload to get 3 rounds. But just in simple terms, not even demo being there. If a wave goes out and kills 5 adds, a quarter of your grenade comes back. Like, that's just simply awesome. And before I go further, how I do view this weapon is this utility. It is this right here. It's a Swiss Army knife, not a samurai sword. Because the damage perks, like this, I've tried a lot of them, I do not like them. I mean, they're stats for all, one for all. Nowhere near the utility, and yeah, maybe you can down some beefier targets. But with it being a wave, sometimes it goes under enemies, sometimes you hit a rocket, it just goes left. Desperate Measures doing 30%, Tricorn 2 doing 50. Like, those could be okay, but where it excels, I mean, straight up excels, is ad control with great benefits. It's things are in your face, you shoot out a wave, destroys everything, you get benefits. So you can try some damage perks. It's not going to perform like a mountaintop, not even like a salvo. So where the money's at is using that wave with all the benefits you get clearing out ads. We have something like Unrelenting. It's a great perk on it. And with that wave, you're going to get multiple downs, you're going to get health. It's not a bad pick. So Unrelenting Chain, Unrelenting Wellspring even, just because it has that built-in indomitability trait. And then we have Disruption Break. Disruption Break's in the 3rd. I've always been a fan of this perk. Break the shield, 50% more kinetic damage for 5.5 seconds. And how it works, like especially in Onslaught, you throw it into a wave, it's going to get downs on the ads, and there's the opportunity to break even a solar shield, whatever shield it is in that wave. At that point, you get the extra damage on your kinetic. And to go even further, something like this, Disruption Break Chain Reaction, there's a possibility that the chain reaction can break a shield out of nowhere. That's also going to count as you use Disruption Break. So like, there's some cool things about it, but what I really don't like, the deal with it, is that being a special wave launcher, it is more centered around team play. Because if you're solo, you're gonna want a good kinetic. That could be like a Wish Ender, whatever it is. Like, it has to be really, really good. But ideally, where the 50% extra kinetic comes into play is if you use an energy primary with Disruption Break. Because you would break the shield, then switch over to, let's say, a Recombination Mountaintop or Izanagi. Like, just big damage. That's where it works. Being a wave special, you'd have to run double special most of the time. And in a team setting, like not even playing with random people, they're not going to know you have Disruption Break. Everyone would have to be on board with that. It's like, hey, you know what? I broke this shield, 50% more kinetic, and they would have to use their kinetics on them. I use it a ton with my groups, with random LFG groups. I mean, it's okay, but I wasn't really as impressed as I hoped to be because I do love the perk. It does have a place on a wave GL. It just played kind of awkward. I mean, there's things like, again, these damage perks, Desperate Measures, Rampage, One for All, Bait and Switch, Golden Tricorn. Like, I don't think the utility of a wave frame is lying with those. In the 4th, I think it's Wellspring, Chain Reaction. In the 3rd, Unrelenting, Demo, Ambitious Assassin. There's niche things like Steady Hands and Disruption Break. But what I really recommend and what I'm going for is Demo in the 3rd. Because Demo in the 3rd, the extra 15%, it doesn't matter what subclass you're on. You can use it for your healing grenade. You can use it for Weaken on a Void kit. Doesn't even have to be Void Lock. And if you do the big combo of Demo Wellspring, that's a ton of grenade energy back. I think the Devour Feed the Void Lock is 40% per kill. 40% energy coming back. And in the end, as a wave, it's going to do what it's going to do. It's really good at cleaning out areas, or if a lot of ads get on top of you, you can switch to it, wave it out, destroy the area. And that's without chain reaction. But as you're doing that, there's a lot of benefit. I mean, we're talking about taking 2-minute grenades, minute and a half grenades down to seconds. But in the end, it depends on where your value is, where you like to build craft. I would still look for chain reaction. I'm still looking for demo chain, but I'm mostly looking for demo wellspring because those are going to be enhanced later on. And it's just going to get that much better. And what's really cool, we're not seeing too much arc right now. A lot of solar kits, definitely a lot of solar kits. There's Strand, there's Void. Arc's falling a little bit short, and especially if the artifact helps Arc next season, it's going to be even better. But like a seldomly used interaction on Arc is Spark of Beacons. While you're amplified, your Arc special weapon Final Blows create a blinding explosion. Paired with Spark of Brilliance, defeating a blinded target with precision damage creates a blinding explosion. So there's a chain here. Because it's a wave, like it feels bad using a fusion, or a sniper rifle, or a shotgun in PvE. But with an Arc wave, getting multiple kills, then blinding everything around, switching to another weapon, getting crits on them, and just keep spreading the blind, it's pretty good, it's pretty powerful. And it's something to keep in mind with this. Maybe you're an Assassin's Cowl Hunter, whatever it is. But in the end, I never got a good Forbearance, and I'm extremely happy they brought it back. And this version with Demo in the 3rd makes it that much sweeter. Next week's going to be a very good week as far as weapons, but I did want to take some time and talk about this one. As far as the barrel and mag, what's nice, you don't really have any negative impacts from them. You're really looking for the combination. You're not really direct impacting with it. I mean, all you're really doing is throwing out waves, getting a lot of benefits for getting kills with those waves. So like whatever falls. It's going to be fine. As far as the Crucible, I don't really recommend using it there. Disruption Break still does work, like right here, beginning of the match, throw the wave out, tag 2 people, a 140 follow-up. But with a special ammo bar, you don't really see, and I don't really recommend, wave GLs. Maybe depending on what they do with crates. But as it stands right now, strictly a PvE weapon. You can do some things in PvP, but even here, there's explosive personality with auto-loading, disruption break. And the main focus of the video was PvE, and all these perks are going to be enhanced later on. And now is a perfect time to grind for the perfect one. And I do highly suggest Demo in the third. Demo Wellspring is a lot of energy. Demo Chain, even though nerfed later on, if it ever does get downs, that down's worth 15% of that grenade coming back, so it's still worth it. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Forbearance down below, how it stacks up to its original raid version. Do you like it more than this Brave one? And which roles are you liking? Let's talk about it down below. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.